can't find joint sponsorship. Can I show cash? I have my own business. Well, let's talk about joint sponsorship is. So if you're going to do a family-based case and some employment-based cases, but we'll just focus on family-based cases, the U.S. petitioner has to be able to show they make enough money to support the foreign person getting a green card. If they don't make enough money, typically we want a joint sponsor, another U.S. citizen or green card holder that could jump in and show they make enough money. Now, in this case, the person can't find a joint sponsor. Using assets is possible. It's in the regulations. Cash or things that could turn into cash become liquid within 1 year, but they have a really high standard. So if your case is going through consular processing, through the embassy system, I do not accept cases where we use assets, even though it's in the regulations, because I've just seen this too many times where embassy officers will not accept it, and I would not want to risk a case on that. I would say get a joint sponsor. Now you could still try it and they won't necessarily deny your case outright. They'll give you time to get a joint sponsor, but I'm just pessimistic on the consular processing system accepting assets. But if you're in the United States for adjustment of status, I typically do, not typically, but I do have used cash and assets like that, but there's requirements. So, and it's a lot. So for example, let's say you have a car and you want to use the value of your car as the asset to show you have enough money. You can't use your first car because you need that to make a living. So you have to have 2 cars, and the second car be the automobile that you base the cash on. But then you have to get breakdowns of how much your car is worth and kind of like appraisals. Or if you have your own home, you have to get appraisal for the home. So it's a lot of headaches that makes it complicated. If you have cash, which is typically what people use in this kind of case, you have to show a complex formula, which it's too complex for me to get here. You got to schedule a private consultation to go over it. But either 3 to 5 times the amount required for your family size on Form I-864P. And you have to show you have that amount. So let's say you're single or you're married, so it's family size of 2 in this case, the spouse being the foreign immigrant who's coming to the United States. The amount you have to make as income on that one is around $23,000. Let's round up to $25,000. It's not correct number, but just for math's sake, say $25,000. If you're a U.S. citizen applying for your spouse, and using assets, you could show a multiple of 3 times that, so 25,000 is 75,000, and in that case, you will show that you have enough assets, cash on hand, to be able to support that person and do it. Now, you can't just put 75,000 in your account right now and show it. You have to show that you have that amount on average over the last 12 months in your account. So you get a statement from your bank saying the average balance in that account over the last 12 months has been above that amount. Or you could get 12 months worth of bank statements, add them up, divided by 12 to show what the average is. So maybe, 11, 12 months ago, you had $1,000 in the account, but right now you have $200,000 account. You kind of balance it out to see if the amount is above the required amount. The number I gave, 75,000, is not exact, and it varies depending on what kind of case it is. So that was just an example, but it doesn't match every case. It gets really complex, and these are the kind of things you definitely need to have an attorney when there's affidavit support issues, because it's just always a fight on this kind of stuff. But it's possible, but we got to see your taxes, we got to see a lot of stuff. It's more complex than just saying I have my business and I can show cash. There's a lot of paperwork and analysis that has to happen. I hope you enjoyed this educational video. Also, you'll find our social media site has a lot more videos, images, and information about the U.S. immigration process. Please check those out on the various social media websites.